So guys, this is gonna suck, I'm gonna be honest. So for those of you who don't know, Justen Gaethje is my favorite active UFC fighter, and he might just be my favorite fighter of all time. I really love the guy. However, just because I have certain biases for and against certain fighters, steroid using, wife abusing piece of shit. Sorry guys, I had something stuck in my throat there. That doesn't mean I don't call it like I sees it. We tell the truth around here, the truth and only the truth. If it hurts or not, this is a very based MMA channel. But yeah, if I'm being honest with myself, guys, Justen Gaethje is, in my opinion, being rather unrealistic when he says that he deserves a title shot. Roll the clip.
I'm also not gonna fight for fun anymore.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They owe me a championship fight. I'm 3-1, last 4. They came to my house, begged me to fight Max Holloway on UFC 300. What I consider it an exhibition fight. I don't mean that the loss is not on my record. I mean it had nothing to do with the rankings of my, And in the time that I did that, Dustin Poirier, who I just beat, got a good win over Saint Denis, and then fought for the belt.
Yeah.
And then since I won, the champion's been saying he wants to fight me. And so they could have easily set that up, but they didn't. Then he vacates, and then Oliveira's 2-2 in his last fight. Already has a loss to Makhachev, and they bring a brand new guy in, and I get again. So I'm not going to fight any of these motherfuckers for fun unless they pay me so much more money.
So basically, Justin's entire argument for getting a title fight is the fact that he's 3-1 in his last 4. He did the UFC a favor by stepping up and saving UFC 300. The Holloway loss doesn't count as much because Max wasn't ranked at lightweight. That's kind of talking about the whole exhibition thing. The UFC did a similar thing for Dustin Poirier, and Islam has been calling Justen out when he was champ. Alrighty, let's start off with some of the worst takes, in my opinion. He is 3-1 in his last 4, which, yes, he is. But however, 2 of those wins are over Rafael Fiziev, which are great wins. But let's be honest, the second one, not so much. At the time of that second fight, Fiziev was ranked number 11. He was coming off 2 losses, one of those losses being the first fight with Gaethje. He was coming off an injury and hadn't fought in well over a year. And if I'm being honest, it just wasn't that great of a win. And then the one loss in that 3-1, he got absolutely destroyed by Max Holloway and then bodied in the closing stages of a fight. That's just not a good look. I do understand where he's coming from with UFC 300 being kind of like an exhibition, but come on, man. Yes, Max was unranked at lightweight, but and yeah, you were doing the UFC a favor. I get that you were risking your number 1 contendership and for a big fight with Max, but you still lost at lightweight in dramatic fashion. No matter how you slice it, a loss is a loss, and that UFC 300 loss was absolutely brutal. Now let's talk about some of the reasons that, in my opinion, make a little bit more sense. The UFC did give Poirier a title shot when he certainly did not deserve it. Poirier was 2-2 in his last 4 and definitely did not deserve that fight based off of merits alone. I think the UFC was wrong to give him that fight, if I'm being honest, but I mean, it already happened. I understand your logic, Justen, but that doesn't make you getting a title fight booked under similar circumstances right. Islam was also calling out Justen online, or maybe it was Ali, who the hell knows. But the Islam Makhachev Twitter account was saying that Justen can get a title shot if he wins his next fight. My rebuttal to this is, that doesn't really matter much. Islam is no longer the champion. We have a new champion in Ilia Topuria, and the fans want to see him fight the best fighters. What I think should happen next for Justen Gaethje is he either fights Arman Tsarukyan, Paddy Pimblett, or Dan Hooker. All 3 of those guys are on solid win streaks. If he beats any one of them, his next fight should be for the title. Now, do I think Justen is delusional? Short answer is no. I think he probably regrets risking his number 1 contendership to Max Holloway. He did step up and save UFC 300, and, to that point of the card being booked, UFC 300 looked rather worrisome. I mean, that Gaethje-Holloway fight was huge for that card. I think he does regret taking the fight. I think he regrets risking his number 1 contender position in the division, and I think he probably thought the UFC would give him special treatment for saving the card if he won or lost the Holloway fight. Then, during the mix of this whole thing with UFC 300 going down, he sees Dustin Poirier get a title shot off a 2-2 record, coming off of 1 win, and thought, yeah, maybe I can get that kind of treatment too. Unfortunately for Justen, there are clear number one contenders right now. When Dustin Poirier got the shot against Islam at UFC 302, the division didn't really have a number one contender. And now it does. And it's not Justin Gaethje. Let me know what you guys think of this whole situation down in the comments. Does Justen deserve the title shot? Does he not? Tell me why. I'm always reading those comments. I love chatting with you guys. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful day.